and act in accordance with the Constitution. Yes, sir.
Personal question. What do you think about the death penalty?
I'm for the death penalty.
L. Brooks Patterson.
Not to kill Al Patterson. Yeah, I think I was the only candidate on either side of the governor's race that supported the death penalty.
I campaigned many years with him up there in Oakland County.
Well, the death penalty, you know, there's a number of arguments you can have in that debate. You can have the debate, is the death penalty deterrent? There are cases you can argue that it has been where people have actually crossed the state line to kill someone because the state they were in, where they kidnapped them, had a death penalty, they went to a different state to execute the person. So in some circumstances it is a deterrence. It by and large, on a daily activity like an armed robbery that goes bad, it's not. The other way you argued is on cost. Some would say it costs more to enact the death penalty because of all the exhaustive provisions you have to do to ensure that the death penalty is correctly applied. I'm not a big person that puts a cost on justice. And the third that I land my decision on is that our justice system, in my opinion, is based on a punishment that fits the crime. If you steal something small, you get a slap on the wrist. If you commit an increasingly difficult or violent crime, you get a higher penalty. If you commit a heinous, violent murder and a rape and things that go with that, then what is the appropriate penalty for that person for that crime? And for me, the death penalty is.
I agree with that.
Sir?
We are recording for YouTube, but I just wanted to ask you, are you willing to discuss at all about if the Second Amendment and the national movement to take our guns away?
Second Amendment, I believe, you know, there's a poster which I love that says George Washington didn't win the battle with freedom of speech, he won it with guns. You know, the Second Amendment is embodied in our Constitution. It's one I believe in. You know, every time people talk about taking guns away to make a community safer, I say, look at Washington, D.C. They had the strictest gun control law in America. You couldn't own a weapon in your own home. And they had one of the highest violent crime rates with guns in America, which means everybody that was being a victim couldn't protect themselves. The only people that had guns were criminals. And it goes back to my days as a young cop when we were walking, shaking doors on midnights in a shopping center, and the crusty old guy pointed to something and said, "What's that?" And I said, "It's a deadbolt. It's a lock." He said, "What's it for?" And I said, "To keep bad guys out." And he said, "No, it keeps the good guys out. The bad guys can break the lock." Bad guys will break the law. If they're going to commit a crime, they don't care about another crime to have a gun. We have enough gun laws now. Hold them accountable for their behavior. Law-abiding citizens that are jumping through the hoops aren't the ones that are committing the crimes with guns on the street. They're the ones that have a right under the Constitution, and I think morally, to defend themselves and their family.
Thank you.
Sure. If I may, I want to say that you did probably the best job in the entire state on how you enacted the CPL laws.
I appreciate that.
Oakland County has, I think, the most streamlined system of the entire state. There's other counties that are not even abiding by the law by making their citizens jump through even more hoops than is required by the law.
We try to make our CPL, the concealed pistol license, process one of customer service and not of pain. So, you know, we actually hired people to enact that process, and we actually, after Obama was elected, saw a huge spike in CPL applications, such that we had a backlog, and it was taking people literally hours. They'd have to come and sit and wait hours because we had so many people. I mean, it was tenfold how many people were coming in on any given day. It was overwhelming our system. So we actually added a second fingerprint machine and added more activity there so we could try to get people in and out quicker because we saw such a huge increase. We're up approaching 40,000 CPLs in Oakland County.
Good.
Yay.
So I know Judge Warren has to impart lots of wisdom tonight, and I don't want to keep you too long. But I appreciate the opportunity to be with you, and you know, we're there to serve you. Thank you very much.